Hello and welcome back to the channel. And today we're going to be discussing something a bit more blackpilling than usual. Mainly the idea that deportations will fix and save the West. Now, first and foremost, deportations have to occur, right? That is the first priority step, and the West cannot continue as it is with this heavy amount of foreign population within it, right? We're not ever going to be on this channel saying that that shouldn't happen, but we're just going to be instead outlining why that may be a good thing for a bit, but it doesn't fix the deeper issues within our society. The kind of general thesis of this short video is that Britain could return to being, say, 99% homogenous, but it wouldn't be the same Britain that built the British Empire. It would lack simply the spirit that did that, because our civilization, be it homogenous or be it diverse, has lost its soul. We're at the end point of our civilization. In Spenglerian terms, we're in the civilizational winter. We lack the ability to craft and engineer new things and go above and beyond what is with us. And this reflects in everyday life, what we see in the people around us. It's partly why, in a way, we have this this diverse population in our land. It's because we are this now lowly, lacking collectiveness culture. We're a culture that has no pride, and it can't just be created like that. We had our fire, and it's been put out. There's nothing to artificially relight that fire. Now, what do we mean by this specifically? The point being is that the people that built the British Empire obviously came from a homogenous Britain. They weren't living in the UK. It was back then a proud Great British nation with a very, homogenous peoples. But they built the British Empire not because they were homogenous. They built it because at that time, Britain was in its zenith. Britain had the aspiration. The people had this greater dream of going above and beyond, that Faustian drive to conquer and settle new land. If you honestly think that, say, just removing the Pakistanis down the road is going to just suddenly reignite this spark, then obviously you're wrong, right? That spark was there because it was part of the flow of the British civilization. It was part of the broader Western civilization in its zenith. Now let's take a look at the current situation, the current country. The current country that, yes, is not majority white British, but still has a large enough chunk. And it's not as if the people that make up today's modern Britain are at all close to those that lived 100, 200 years ago in our peak, right? And this is to the point again. We deport all the immigrants from this country. Sure, that may be a good thing, right? But it still leaves behind a native population that's mostly fat, struggling ridiculously economically, contaminated by all sorts of ills that are brought onto them. How many native Brits are gay or porn addled or any of these kind of degenerate ills that prevent them from doing something great, right? It won't simply be a click of a button and all the immigrants going, and suddenly bang, we're back in the British Empire again, because we don't have a drive to ourselves anymore. Perhaps even if we had the animating spirits to get rid of these immigrants, that would be the accomplishment in of itself. There'd be nothing past that point. My point being that the collective goal and the big goal for the British people can only be to get rid of something. But we're no longer at the point where we can create something even bigger, something more aspirational. Our time in the sun is simply gone. Britain is a small pariah state on the edge of the world now. I'd rather it be a homogenous pariah state on the edge of the world, but our chances of ever being an empire again, or being a major player in the world, or truly innovating and dictating what goes on, is gone and left behind. Now, I've rambled on for quite a while. Anything you would like to say, Muslim bro?
The main point I'd also want to point out is that a lot of people on the right, they're always on the back foot. They're always having to undo things. They're always having to undo the mistakes of the Tories with the Boris wave. They always have to undo the degeneration of society and social order. They're always having to undo anything that has happened in the last 60 years. And that isn't what the British people had back in the Victorian period, where instead of undoing, they could actually build up and look forward. And so that fundamental difference is what, like you said, is dictating Britain's future at the moment. Right now, it's about cleaning the room. You can't think of expanding the house before you make sure that your house is in order. So I think you've made very good points, Christian, bro. I think we can move on to the next one. There isn't much to add, honestly, on that point there.
And it's why, again, if you look at other countries in the world, China, for example, right? And a lot of the ills that I've mentioned in Britain, you can prescribe onto China, right? You know, the kind of stereotypical bugman image is probably the average Chinese person. But one thing they aren't lacking is this collectivized spirit. They know that their time at the top is soon. And it doesn't matter if China was, say, homogenous or unhomogenous. I'm sure a lot of their success relies in their homogeneity and ability to collectivize on those grounds. But first and foremost, what's driving China forward is this aspiration and this kind of unquantifiable drive to be the top power in the world, to build, to innovate. You look at a Chinese city, it's vibrant, electronic, it looks futuristic because they are the civilization of the future. Compare that to any British town, even the ones with a level of development, and they still have that kind of grey tinge of this is past it. My point being is that we can't just replicate what, say, China has. China will eventually rise, and their time will come to an end, of course, as well, right? Civilizations work like the waves, they go up and down and rising and falling. Maybe in 400 years, we'll have our time in the sun again. But to what is relevant to us now, we can't just relight the fire. Removing the immigrant invaders would be great for the country. It would make us a better country, but it wouldn't make us what we once were. We can't ever truly restore what Britain was, because be it caused directly or just something out of our control, it's something we can never take hold of again.
Very nice on that gruesome point. I just wanted to quickly plug a video as well that we made a few months back, Christian Bro, about the practical ways of deportation. Now, we have obviously spoken about deportation necessarily fixing the root problem, but seeing this is a problem that should and can be fixed now, you should go watch that video so you can understand the practical sense of it, so that if Reform, Restore, any political party starts talking about deportation, you can actually ask real questions to figure out if they're serious or if they're just pulling one over your eyes. But thank you very much for watching. God bless you all. We speak to you soon and take care.
Thank you very much.